distributed system, it will always have three subsystems, and these are, first one is control system. Control system is the heart of the steering gear, because this is the one which decides what angle actually is to be given to the rudder. Okay. So located where? On the bridge. Then second is power unit. Now to move the rudder, we have to move the rudder stock, and therefore quite substantial power is required. We can't move it by hand. Therefore we need some kind of power to move the rudder, and that comprises of power unit. It can be hydraulic or electric. And under hydraulic we again have subdivisions, like you have 2-ram system, you can have 4-ram system, or you can have a rotary vane steering gear system, correct? So that part, so we need power, and that is why mostly electric systems are not used. It is the hydraulic systems which are used to get this power. So we have steering gear pumps, as we know, and we have the control also from bridge. Number of pumps we will see later, because it is as per the SOLAS requirement. So once we come to regulation, we will see how many are required. So accordingly, we will have the power unit available in the ship to give us power to turn the rudder stock and to turn the rudder. Third thing is the transmission unit. Transmission unit is actually the rams or the rotary vane. That is also called actuator. So power given by the pump, then this power is being utilized by either the 2-ram or 4-ram or the rotary vane. That is the actuator or the transmission unit. So these three will be always there in your steering gear system. Alright. So first of all, we will like to have an overall picture of the steering gear system. Then we will go to individual components to understand it better. But first, we will see what is the overall picture, how the steering gear actually works, and what are the different terms which we use in the steering gear system. So let us see over here. On bridge, what we have is the on bridge we have the control unit. Here you have the hand steering. Just below that you will find there are the number of cards. Correct? If you open the panel, just below you will find those processors, and they are the ones which are controlling the entire operation of the steering gear. Now over here, this control unit can be operated in different ways, or we can say modes of operation. Mode means the manner in which the control system can be used. Correct? Manner. So these modes are hand, that means hand steering, auto, and NFU. These are the three ways or the modes in which the control system can be operated. Now, first two are called follow-up systems, and the next one is called non-follow-up, as the short form is NFU. So these are follow-up, and this one is non-follow-up. We will see why we call it follow-up, why it is non-follow-up. Because in case of non-follow-up, there is no feedback. The control system does not know where is the rudder. Where means है तो वहीं जहाँ लगा है, but angle क्या है उसका. So therefore we are having direct control from the bridge, irrespective of whatever may be the. So the control system is cannot process the signal simply because there is a failure. Right? We will see what is the failure, but we have these three different modes. primarily called follow-up and non-follow-up. You also have a selector switch here, which can be auto and NFU. That means you also have an option of selecting whatever you want. Our non-follow-up system has got a override feature. You can directly go to NFU. And NFU lever is normally two types are there. One is push button type. Some vessels have push forward, and some have got a lever which is spring loaded. So it is fulcrum here, let us say, and this is a neutral position. If I move it this way, rudder will go to outside. I leave it, it will not come to midship. It will stay there. However, if I want starboard, then I will have to move it this way. As long as I move it one side or the other, rudder will continue to move. It does not matter whether I am moving it this much or I am moving it this much, because it is not proportional action. Whereas in hand steering, if you move it to 10 degrees port, rudder will go to 10 degrees port and stop. That is follow-up system, because it is following your instructions. But non-follow system does not know what is the there is no feedback there. So you move it this much or this much. It does not matter how much angle you are moving. As long as it is displaced from neutral position, rudder will continue to move. And when you are using NFU, what process you follow? We call it inching method. Inching. That means because you have to stop at the correct angle. You want 20 degrees port. So if you keep it like this, it may just overshoot 20 by the time you realize. So that means when it is close to 18 or 19, then you will release it. Rudder will stop instead of 18, maybe 18.5. Now you can give a small movements to come to back 20 degrees. So this process is called inching method. For NFU, this is what we use. So control unit, 3 modes: follow-up, non-follow. Now from here, the signal from control system is processed, and we have 2 units. If you open the panel also, you will find 2 sets of processors with the cards. आपको कार्ड में क्या है जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. We don't even want to know. अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगी तो somebody will take care of that. But we definitely know there are 2, and therefore we have a selection also, system 1 and system 2. They are called amplifier 1 and amplifier 2. Amp 1, amp 2. That means normally it will be on 1. Then after 24 hours, you are supposed to change to 2. Both identical, 100% redundancy. That means this and this are identical. Just to keep it in use, to be sure that both are working, we keep changing system 1, system 2. But when we say system 1, it is a set of cards which are in action. This is standby. If I change to 2 also, same function. So 100% backup of these 2 systems. So that is why we have a selection here, system 1, system 2. This does not mean steering gear motor, please remember. Steering gear motor, 1 or 2, that is different. That is power unit, which one we are using, 1 or 2 or both. That is, but here, one of them only can be used. You can't use both together. Now from this, we have the signal which is passed on. This is bridge. Now the signal comes to the steering gear compartment. In the steering gear compartment, we have what is known as
motor.
ये हमने वो बेसिकली वो है ना F1 F2.
Yes.
telemotor receiver. Short form is telemotor receiver. I can write it here full form also. I can say telemotor receiver. Telemotor receiver. This is telemotor receiver.
Engine room where the signal is received.
Telemotor receiver, because this signal is from bridge to steering gear compartment. Now there are various ways of transmitting this signal. Old ships had a hydraulic system, whereby we had two pipes running from bridge down to steering gear compartment, and on the bridge also we had two ramps. So when you were moving the steering wheel to give a particular help, one side piston was going down, so pressure was increasing at that time. This was going to the telemotor receiver in the steering gear compartment. The other side was return line. So this was the old system. But as you know, hydraulic systems are full of defects. Correct? There are so many disadvantages. For example, loss of signal. Because if there is a small leakage also, that signal which you want to transfer, 10 degree चाहिए आपको उसके corresponding pressure आना चाहिए उस लाइन में. अगर लीक हो गया तो 10 की जगह 9 रह जाएगा या 8 रह जाएगा. Plus impurities in the oil can also adversely affect the process. And more importantly, if there is a air ingress, so vapor loss. So because and then it is coming from bridge to the steering gear, it was a long passage for the oil to travel. Keeping all this in mind, those systems are gone. Although in books you will still find it is showing there also, those systems are also shown in your books. But nobody is using it nowadays because of the disadvantages which I have mentioned. So now it is an electrical signal. So from bridge it is going as an electrical signal. Transmission of signal, receiver of the signal. This part is called telemotor. Telemotor system. And we have to keep this in mind. Why? Because in your exam, sometimes A part sketch and describe a four-ram steering gear. B part, in case of telemotor failure, what you do. So immediately you should understand what is telemotor. So telemotor part is only this much. Transmission from bridge and receiving the signal. So telemotor failure means either some problem here or some problem here. Signal is not coming. That is telemotor failure. And then you have to write what you will do. We will see, we will discuss that, what to do in those cases. So this part is telemotor. Tele word is distance, like television, telephone, all that. And motor is the whole system which is doing this. We are still maintaining the old terminology. So this is telemotor system. Now once the telemotor receiver receives the signal, then what next? This signal goes to another equipment which is called HG. है ना? Similar to Hector MG. नई गाड़ी है ना?
MG Hector.
MG Hector.
Morris garages.
With AI आ गई ना अब तो.
हाँ, अब वो 14
Artificial intelligence.
14 इंच का डिस्प्ले आ गया
So,
and the series also very good there. काफी languages.
so here the whole process is controlled by hunting gear, just as their AI is doing here. HG. This is called hunting gear. Sometimes in short notes they say explain the working of hunting gear. Yes. 5 number का question आ गया. So उसके लिए I will show you one simple diagram से दिखा के एक line से hand written and you can explain. So hunting gear. Now hunting gear is a system which we call as control and shut off system. Control means it will control till you achieve the required angle or required help.
ये जो वायर है ना, ये जो लीवर है, ये फीडबैक ये तो आ रहा है टेलीमोटर.
Telemotor receiver is giving a signal to hunting gear.
ये फीडबैक सिस्टम भी सर इसी को बोलते हैं क्या?
आएगा एक बार पूरा कर लिख दो सब आ जाएगा.
नहीं, जस्ट वो पहले थोड़ा सा इसमें डिस्कशन हो गया था, इसके लिए डाउट है.
क्या क्या डिस्कशन?
दिस इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज फीडबैक सिस्टम हो सर.
नहीं,
जो हंटिंग है.
This is hunting gear. There is a, I will show you feedback, which is not shown in this. Feedback is not shown in this diagram. ये आपकी कौन सा वो ये हुआ है ना? जेकेदार. जेकेदार is a good book. Don't worry. I am not going against जेकेदार, but I will rather supplement if something is not there in जेकेदार, right? So, for exam purpose also, I will tell you which diagrams to prepare. आपको एग्जाम में सारी प्रिपेयर नहीं करनी है, तो आप डायग्राम में बनाते रह जाओगे ना, अपने डिटेल के हिसाब से आप पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे 2 या 3 डायग्राम अपने पक्के कर लो। एंड एग्जाम में प्लीज़ रिमेंबर ड्रॉ इट, नहीं फोटा ले लो साथ में, थोड़ा साफ साफ बना दोगे, यू विल गेट डेफिनेटली मोर देन 80%। थोड़ा सा एक डायग्राम बना दिया, एक पैराग्राफ लिख दिया, इज एक्चुअली वेरी गुड। सो डोंट गो फॉर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड डायग्राम्स, द डायग्राम्स विच दिस इज अ गुड डायग्राम, वी विल डिस्कस दिस डायग्राम ऑल्सो, डोंट वरी। सो
2 RAM वाला,
2 RAM और 4 RAM, अनलेस दे स्पेसिफाई, बिकॉज आप क्वेश्चन में अगर वो स्पेसिफाई करते हैं कि ड्रॉ 2 RAM, तो नॉर्मली दे डोंट, बट अदरवाइज यू कैन ड्रॉ 2 RAM और 4 RAM whichever। ड्रॉइंग 4 RAM फ्रॉम 2 RAM इज वेरी सिंपल, बिकॉज जो 2 RAM बनाए वही कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो नीचे और एक लाइन एक्सटेंड कर दो यहाँ पे, नथिंग एल्स। 2 RAM 4 RAM में कोई खास फर्क नहीं है। तो 2 RAM की डायग्राम बना सकता है, 4 RAM को उसने वही कॉपी कट नहीं करना, कॉपी पेस्ट करना है, वही 2 RAM नीचे बना देने हैं और लाइन ऐसे अकाउंट दिखा देनी है।
एक हाइड्रोलिक लाइन लगा देनी साहब,
एक हाइड्रोलिक लाइन है, 4 RAM हो गया। तो हंटिंग गियर इज ए इक्विपमेंट which is control and shut off device. When we say control, that means as long as the rudder is not at the correct angle what you want from which, it will control. It will give you a movement to the rudder. But once that desired point or the desired angle or helm has been achieved, this same system will put the system to rest, equilibrium, because you have achieved this. Now the rudder will stay at that particular angle. अगर आपको 10 डिग्री चाहिए था तो 10 degrees पे आके it will be hydraulically locked so that it should not move from there. So we use the term hydraulically locked. That is the purpose of hunting gear. Now, what is hunting gear and how it is achieving that? The signal which is coming to hunting gear, it is passing it on to the power unit. This signal comes here. Motor, इसको छोटा कर देता हूँ receiver, and here we have the pump. This is motor, this is pump. This is the steering gear motor. Steering gear motor consists of a electric motor which is driving the pump. Now, whether whatever type of pump this is, there are 2 types. One is called variable delivery pump and second is fixed delivery pump. 2 टाइप के पंप्स होते हैं. In both cases, finally only two hydraulic lines will come from the pump. Also, if it is a rotary vane also, then also only 2 lines will be coming. Right? So it does not matter whether we are using rotary vane or 2 RAM or 4 RAM. From the pump, only 2 lines will be coming from here. So we draw 2 lines here, one here, one here. These are hydraulic lines. जो पूछना मेरे से पूछो, है ना, आपस में ना, ये बताएगा नहीं आपको ठीक से दीदी बताएगा, सही बताएगा, मैं वैसे कह रहा हूँ, इट इज़ बेटर टू आस्क मी इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट. सो अभी ये हाइड्रोलिक लाइन 2 है यहाँ पे. अब ये आती कहाँ है? वी आर explaining the system with 2 RAM. We could have done with 4 RAM also, but to make it simple. So what is happening here? This is 2 RAMs. This is one, this is another one, correct? And from here we have what is known as tiller, है ना? Tiller चाहिए ना आपको? So as the rams move, they will move the tiller. Tiller के भी 2-3 डिजाइन हैं, जो भी है वो बाद में देखेंगे. पर movement of this ram either this side or this side is controlled by tiller, which is connected to the rudder stalk. So we have the rudder stalk here. And this rudder stalk will move, and therefore the rudder will move. Now these 2 lines, one is coming connected here, and one is connected to the other side. So this is the connection. Now always One of them will be high pressure, one will be low pressure, or one is supply, one is return. So let us see if this is the supply line, then oil will come from here, travel here, travel here, travel here, and act here on this side on ram number 1. This is ram number 1, this is ram number 2. This is the pump. So the pump has discharge and suction, दो line है, which is same for any pump. Let us say I want to give a port movement. Then the oil should come from here. High pressure oil coming here, acting in this chamber, will push the ram towards right. Whatever oil was there originally will go back to the suction side. Therefore, this side is like this. That is the return. Let us consider I want to give starboard movement. Then this will become my high pressure line or discharge line. Oil pressure will act this side and ram will move in the opposite direction. Return will be this. So always based on port or starboard movement, one is high pressure line, one is return line. How much is the pressure normally in a 2 ram steering? Is approximately 200 bar. 200, 215, 216, it is in this range. So what is the force which is moving this ram? Is this pressure multiplied by the area of the ram. Force is pressure into area.
Area of the ram.
Area of the ram, if this is a ram, let us say. हाँ, ये रैम है ना, ये यहाँ पे ऐड कर रहा है तो पाई बाई 4 डी स्क्वायर. दिस इज द एरिया ऑन विच 200 bar is acting. So 200 bar multiplied with this area is the force, which will move it this way. One more thing we have to remember is whatever is the movement of piston from towards right, that much space is created this side. That means a certain that much volume of oil has come. Same has been displaced from this side. Same oil will go back to the pump. If pump is not working or stop condition or steady condition, then both sides there is no flow and both sides are full of oil. So now this is what is causing. This is my power unit and this is my actuator, which is causing the moment. When it moves from this to right, this is causing the rudder stop to also have angular moment, and because of that the rudder moves from here to this way, port side. Whatever alpha is the angle, this may be midship to 35 degrees. My normal range of steering gear is 35 from one side to 35 on the other side. So in between I can give any movement. Now when the rudder moves, we have what is known as feedback transmitter. Feedback transmitter is connected here on the rudder stop. As the rudder moves, this linkage will move towards left. Yes or no? कोई भी ये यहाँ पे ये मेरा लगा हुआ है ऐसे, ये घूमेगा इसको घुमाएगा ना. If this is a rudder stop,